Hey everyone, Jim DeGram with RCGroups.com, and today we're looking at the Focal 2. This is a Fatshark goggle brought to you by the good folks at Horizon Hobby. Now I've had this a couple of weeks and I've used it around the house with my tiny whoop, and I've also had it out at the field, but there's a feature of this on this unit that I really wanted to take advantage of. I have a pan and tilt unit here on an airplane, and I have another little cub coming in that's going to use a pan and tilt. This has a wireless pan and tilt on it, and I was curious to figure out how it worked, and it wasn't as simple as I had hoped. After I worked it out, I thought, you know what, I should shoot a video on this since I can't find any videos that go over this on YouTube. So here we go. Of course, we start with our unit, but that's not where we're going to start this process. We're going to start the process on the DX6E. So this is a radio from Spektrum that is made to work with the Focal, and it has the wireless trainer function built in. So we're going to click our scroll bar to get us into the menu, and we're going to go to, if you have one of these radios, you've done this thousands of times, we're going to go into the system setup, and we're going to agree. And then what you're looking for here is the trainer, and this is going to get you into the menu for the wireless setup. Now when you come into this originally, it'll be blank and it'll say trainer, and I'll change it to what you'll see. It'll say trainer inhibit, which means that it's not working at all. And then you're going to scroll over to FPV, and then you're going to see this screen. We're going to do nothing with any of these settings, but we are going to pick a switch. You can pick the gear switch, or if you're like me and want to save that for something else, you can pick switch H, which is a two-way switch, which is what you want here. You don't want a three-way switch operating this. So we're going to pick that and hit next. Now, this is where it got tricky for me. Let's look at a pan and tilt, just to look at what we're dealing with physically here. So here's a Fatshark pan and tilt. We're staying in the Fatshark family with everything. You have a servo on the bottom and a servo here, so that means two servo leads going off of this unit. So you have to plug those servo leads into channels on your receiver. This is just a small Spektrum receiver. So what I did is I went into gear and aux 1. And that is that. Very simple. We're still on the very simple side of things. So let's jump back into the menu here. Line it up, hopefully not changing anything. Alright, we're going to get into this menu. So here is output channel gear, which I just said I plugged the servo into. You want to change the mode to slave so it works when you hit your switch. And here's what got me. Input channel 18. If you go online and look at the manual for the Focal, you'll see that it's broadcasting on channel 18 and 19, and it also said its frequency was 17, and I thought 17, I couldn't figure it out, but I did, and now I'm here to tell you what. I've got gear on 18, everything else is normal, and so then you're going to think, okay, what about the other channel? Am I restricted to a pan or a tilt? No, all you have to do is go up to the output channel, click it, and go to the next one. Now, you might think you're erasing the first one, but that turned out not to be the case, because that's what I thought. So there's aux 1, slave, and then taking that, and then input channel 19. So you may ask yourself, if I have these goggles, are these numbers 18 and 19 correct? They are if you're running stock settings. So if you're straight out of the box, what you're looking at here will get you going. So once again, normal, and how do I get to the back button? I'm going back. There's one more thing to do. I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to show you how to do it. You need to bind, which we've just selected here, you need to bind your goggles to this transmitter. So what you want to do is, there's two ways to do it. But the first way I think is the best way. So what you want to do is go to your goggles, and they're unplugged before you get to the bind situation here, and plug it in, and you're going to hear it chirp. After it chirps, you want to hit the bind button. I'm going to go back here. You want to hit the bind button, and it will say, I think it will say 11 something or other on there. It binds just like to a receiver. When that happens, then everything is good. And if you're like me, it will work. So we're already bound. I'm going to back out of here and get to the main menu. or to the main screen there. And now what I'm going to do is, how should we do? We're going to take this transmitter out of the situation. Here's what we are going to do. We're going to flick on our H switch, which caused a reaction. And I apologize for all the wires, but it is the nature of the beast. So now, if you go up and down with your goggles, your camera goes up and down. If you go left or right, your camera goes left and right. And then once again, in the instructions, it will talk about centering all this, and that all comes off of this main button right here. So if you want to center the camera, you hold that down and it moves it into place. One other thing to be aware of is make sure your servos are right. Make sure that whatever direction you end up pointing, that servo is going to rotate this way and that way and up and down. You've got to get all that just right. But you probably already know that. The main goal here was to show you how to make these talk to that transmitter and talk to this camera, which we have done. And then, of course, since it's on a switch, you can turn it off at any time. Awesome. All right, I'm going to turn it off right now. And then it reverts back. So that's how you do the wireless bind to the head tracking on the Focal V2s. And also go back to our channel and check out the full review on these, where I'm going to talk about all the different features. I just wanted to pull this out so that anyone that was having the trouble I had would have a video to work with. Thanks, everybody. I'm Jim T. Graham with rcgroups.com. Ciao, ciao.